My mom always made Dutch Banket, usually around the holidays, Christmas season, and she made a lot of it. Um, she would freeze it, and whenever we would go to her house, we would grab some, sneak some, steal some, and it was always wonderful. Well, Mom's been gone for a number of years now, so I've been making Banket, and it's a simple recipe. The pastry, as you can see, is a normal blend of flour and butter and water. Mom's recipe says to refrigerate overnight. I see mixed comments about doing that in recipes here and there, but Mom's recipe said to do it, so I do it. The filling is a wonderful mix of nothing but sugar and almond paste, and of course, for a Dutch guy, that it doesn't get much better than that. It's almond paste, not almond filling. Almond filling is different, and the paste is quite a solid consistency actually, and you need a pound of it. You mix that together, basically dry, until you get a mixture that's kind of the consistency of cornmeal. Add 3 eggs. Add a teaspoon of vanilla, and then mix that well. And again, I don't know that it makes any difference, but Mom's recipe said to refrigerate it overnight, and you might as well since the pastry's in the refrigerator anyway. So I mix it up and put it in a container and put it in the refrigerator. Now for the filling, I try to put it in a fairly flat, shallow container. And I do that because I know the recipe will make 8 Banket rolls, and if I have it in a deep container, it's harder to sort of guess to break it into quarters and then quarters into eighths. And with something shallow like that, I could just sort of mark it with a knife and divide the filling into eighths real easy as I'm putting the rolls together. Same thing with the dough. I do it by weight. I'll take the ball of dough and cut it into 8 pieces, and then on a scale I'll make sure that generally they all weigh the same, which tells me that they're all the same size, and that way you don't end up coming up short halfway through. I form it into a rectangle that sort of by trial and error through the years, I've figured out how big it needs to be to fit end to end or side to side in a normal cookie sheet, and I can put 8 of them on one cookie sheet. So here I'm dividing up the filling. You make it into kind of a tube. The pastry, the filling has a tendency to expand when you bake it. So it's important to seal the edges of the pastry. I can remember my mom doing that with, sometimes I think I saw her doing it with water. I've also seen her do it with a beaten egg. So I use the egg, and she would seal the ends with a fork, kind of like you do a pie pastry with a top and the sides, where you kind of use a fork to seal the edge. I've found that if I fold the ends over like this and then roll it up, typically it stays pretty solid. Every now and then one will blow out as it's baking. The recipe will make 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I wish it would go that fast. Putting them together is kind of the slow, tedious part. Mom would take a fork or a knife and she would poke vent holes in the pastry. That's an important thing to do. She'd brush the top with some more beaten egg, sprinkle a little bit of sugar on, and then in a preheated oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, she would bake it for 15 to 20 minutes, and in my oven I find that about 18 minutes seems to be the good spot. You of course you wait until it's the top is browned and call it done.